Oh, does someone need a ban? Oh, it's one of those people. Oh, a little snowflake. It's a little snowflake. What do you say? Ever since that Seagate incident where I called Redditors no purpose flower about 2.5 years ago, there has been people trickling in the chat saying that my extreme racism towards white people is very hateful and full of bigotry, and that I am like really racist because I called some Redditors no purpose flower 2.5 years ago, and then there was like this list that they said was made up words that they said were slurs for white people that nobody ever uses. And then they try to say that I was calling somebody that when I never called anybody a snow roach. I have never called anybody that. And I was like, okay, this is such a ridiculous term. Why is this like, this is a term? I've never heard anybody say that. I did call Redditors no purpose flower. As a white person, you're giving me the pass. Thank you. But yeah, they've been throwing in like tantrums over that for the past 2.5 years, by the way. For the past 2.5 years, they have been crying. They're like, did you know that Daph is an extreme racist? Oh, what does she do? She was racist towards white people. Interesting. Yeah, that's the lore if you didn't know, because a lot of people aren't terminally online, so they don't know that. Yeah, and then the amount of rape threats that I got since that incident, like, for the past 2.5 years since that happened, by the way, I've had people coming in here going like, I'm gonna rape you, you ching chong bitch, choke on my white cock, blah blah blah, hey you noodle ching chong bitch, you're an Asian chick that deserves to be raped by white dick. Like that kind of I had people sending me emails about that. I had people spamming sentinels about that. I had people like contacting like the people that I've been sponsored by about that. They've been going to people around me saying stuff like that ever since that incident, the no purpose flower incident from 2.5 years ago. Always saying ching chong bitch, Asian bitch, you should worship white cock, you should blah blah blah, this and this and that. Since 2.5 years ago, that stuff has went like chart going up, dude. So yeah. Seems like it hit a really sore spot for a certain circle of people online. I don't really get the obsession, but okay. You guys didn't call them C-word? No, I didn't. And I remember at the time when it happened, someone like purposely took screenshots of my chat logs and rearranged it and made it look like I was calling somebody that when I never did. Only person I called was Redditors. I said they were no purpose flower. And that was the incident from 2.5 years ago. That's the lore. This comes up constantly. They have not left me alone for the past 2.5 fucking years. But I think part of it is probably also because like nothing has happened to me. Which I think probably irritates them because I still make a lot of money. I still have a community. I'm still getting sponsors. I still have an agency, like everything. I'd assume that tickles them in a bad way. Yeah, I got so many, like, I had like some dedicated people that were emailing me repeatedly since that, basically saying about, like, they would email me about how Asian women need to know their place with white men. They had to, like, they were telling me that I need to, like, worship white men and, like, date white men and, like, be subservient to them. I had so many messages and emails like that, and I was like, oh, that's the community I pissed off. It's the Klansmen. Oh. They got some pointy hats. Pissed off the fucking dudes with the robes and pointy hats. Yeah, C-word gate happened the same time as the X-Mod. Okay, this comes up like fucking every month or so because people aren't caught up on the lore. And basically the C-word gate happened. We also found out at the same time that my X-Mod was some weird fucking guy because I didn't know. But also, I need to cook this burger and I don't want to burn it. Yeah, Libido. So that guy only got mod because I was like randomly going on break for a week or two and then he was just in the offline chat at the time. I was like, okay, well, if the chat gets weird, I need someone to be mod just in case, like, I'm not around, whatever. He's like, he can do it. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. So then he ended up being the mod for about, like, a year or two-ish. And nobody, like, people started to leave the community and chatting whenever he was around because he was really weird. Now, how he was weird, I'll get into detail. But people started to leave, people started to not feel comfortable when this person was around, whatever. I didn't really know what was going on because I'm preoccupied with my own stuff. And people also had no way of reaching out to me to talk to about him. So anyways, fast forward to the Seagate incident. He was like, well, it's actually very racist. I'm very hurt, and I can't believe you would say something of such, like, crazy bigotry like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry, like, you're offended, and I understand that, you know, not everybody enjoys being called no-purpose flower, and I admit that was actually very hateful on my part to laugh at the term snow roach and to call someone a no-purpose flower. That was racist. I'm sorry to the white community. And then, I'm like, he's like, okay, he's gonna step down. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Like, if you don't want to mod for me, I'm not gonna force you to. That's cool, whatever. And then I found out that dude was into lolly porn. That dude, there were chat logs of him going like talking about lollies, talking about how he was really into lollies and their outfits and stuff. And, someone had a conversation with him about how he really likes Asian women, and when someone was like, yeah, but don't you think like you're being a little bit creepy with your advances when you're like talking about, you talk about Asian women like you're kind of objectifying them, whatever. And then he said verbatim that he was attracted to Asian women just like how gay people have no choice in being gay. So when I found out all that together, I fucking banned his ass. I was like, oh, I didn't know this guy was that fucking weird. I had no idea. But yeah, this guy straight up said that he liked Asian women like how being gay is not a choice. He only likes Asian women. Because he's Asian sexual. And I'm like, dude, I wish I was not an Asian woman online, man. This is the weirdest fucking shit. Why is there so much weird shit in being an Asian woman online? I do not understand. I think it's because a lot of gamers do not see Asian women as like actual women. Like Asian women are like anime characters to the people that do not interact with women. They're like the closest thing to an anime girl. Oh yeah, he would unban gooners and say like something like, yeah, I understand. But then he would also keep like say that shit outside of my scope. Like I would not see the stuff that he was saying because I wasn't around, or he would say it in another chat or another Discord or whatever, I don't know. Yeah, that guy was fucking weird. And I feel like every female streamer has a story of a fucking weird ass mod. That guy was weird. But yeah, that was 2.5 fucking years ago. What, maybe even longer? Oh my god. So yeah, ever since then, I have had fucking insane people coming in here going like, I can't believe you hurt the white community with your hatred and bigotry. You are so racist. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. Cool. It's like Klansmen adjacent people that are mad because guess what? The white people in this community are like, lol, that was the funniest fucking thing ever. And I'm like, oh, now I'm conflicted. Did I do a hate crime or not? Because the way these people were talking about it made me think I did a fucking hate crime. Yeah, I was like, dude, that shit is so fucking weird. Can you imagine trying to explain this to like some fucking granny that you meet at the gym or whatever? Can I explain my job to grannies at the gym? I just tried to say I'm unemployed. Hey, thanks for the 20 MILFs. Maybe I should use that as reparations for the white community that I've hurt. I apologize. Sincerely. And I hope that we can take this hatefulness out. Another thing is, every time this lore comes up, and I'm like, yeah, the Seagate incident with the C word, someone's like, what C word? Which C word? And then when they find out which C word it is, they're like, oh. Thought it was something else. Don't forget his oh my god, there's like so much to unpack about the X-Mod guy that I fucking forget some of the lore. It's been like 2.5 years, 2 years? I don't know, maybe it's been like two years, at least 2 years for sure. That guy married a Japanese lady, and His wife has a boyfriend and she just visits his place to clean the place once a month or so. Which, yeah, and she has a boyfriend. So I'm assuming that it was some kind of like green card marriage situation. Yeah, I'm assuming it's something like that. Who knows? We'll never know. Oh yeah, he referred to his wife as a lolly. He did. That guy was just weird. Yeah, being an Asian woman in the gaming space is the weirdest fucking thing. Like, how do I re-roll my... Can I re-roll my, starting race? Can I re-roll? Like, can I try a different build, like PoE? You get the weirdest people hanging around. I was just thinking about that when I was, like, walking to the gym this morning. Is like, if you're a girl, you do anything... like, if you are not just perfect, never make a mistake, never do anything, never say anything slightly controversial, never talk about equality, never talk about feminism, never talk about politics, never talk about any of that. Stay in your lane, don't fucking ever say anything. Play your game, know your fucking place. That's the only way that you will be able to gently skirt by. And even then, you'll still have people that will, you know, say certain things about you. You do anything that is a little bump in the road, any controversy, it will be held over your head forever and ever and ever. You will have people non-stop hounding you about it. You're a guy, you cheat on your wife, it's like memed on. People don't actually give a shit. You groom a child, it's memed on. Generally, people don't really give a shit. You cheat on your wife, you groom a child, you do this, do that, whatever. The level of, like, viciousness that a girl gets for just doing something that isn't even as bad as, I would say, grooming a child, rape allegations, cheating on your wife, whatever, it somehow feels way worse than people that actually do those things. And I'm not even, like, it's not even, it's just a conversation of, like, why does it feel like a girl gets it way worse? For example, you know what? I'll just fucking say straight up example. I feel like Fusli got more shit, even though Noah's the one that cheated on his wife. Like, you have to be perfect. You have to stay in your lane. Never speak. And hope that people don't come at you for whatever reason. Also, don't be ugly. If you're ugly, good fucking luck. You have to be pretty as a girl, or you will be harassed. And if you're pretty, you will still be harassed. That's the gamer demographic. If you wear makeup, you're harassed for like trying to tempt men. If you don't wear makeup, you're an ugly bitch. And you're trying to like trick people with how you're not actually that good looking. Yeah, it's really like when I think of other like girl streamers, the difference in their demographic, their audience being majority female is fucking massive. It's like the difference is huge. That's why as I got older, I realized that I don't want to be perceived as much. I used to really like looking hot and serving cunt, posting selfies on Twitter, Instagram often, and then now that I'm older, I'm like, I don't really want to be observed, because as much as I appreciate the gays and the gals appreciating the cunt serving, part of it is like, I don't really want those certain eyes on me anymore. I don't want to be observed by them. I just want to be here, doing things that I like. But I mean, also, getting canceled is not even a real thing. Like, I could go and kill somebody and I still would not be canceled. Yeah, I would just be harassed more, but it's not, like, canceling is not a thing. If you see me buy yogurt, then you better run. I don't think streamers get canceled, though. I mean, streamers past a certain point. The only way I can see someone getting canceled is they're like 50 viewers, and then turns out they were diddling people, and then now they got 5 viewers. You know what? Let me rephrase. I think getting canceled is actually unlikely. It's not that it doesn't happen. It's very unlikely for it to actually have any long-lasting effects. You have stories of creepy IRL encounters? Only one guy. Surprisingly, I mean, knock on wood, I haven't had anybody try anything, considering the amount of people that, like, the amount of, like, Klansmen that I've attracted with the Seagate incident. And, yeah, none of them have been girls. I've never had a bad encounter with a female fan, ever. Bringing your unwashed ass to meet me. Oh yeah, the hag doesn't count. She wasn't a fan. She was just weird. The only weird encounter I had with a fan who was a guy was he like saw me eating hot pot with a friend at a restaurant through the window. He wasn't even in the restaurant. And then he like opened my Twitch page on his phone, showed it to me through the glass and pointed at it and pointed at me, and I was like, oh haha, like hi. And then, you know, I eat my food. I'm hanging out with my friend. Whatever. We're eating the fucking food. And then, like, an hour later, we walk outside. He was waiting for me to come out. And then he asked for a picture. And I legit was like, this was like 3 years ago, I think. And I didn't want to say no in case he tried to follow me home or something. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try to not piss this guy off. In case he like does some weird shit. And then he said he was going to go on a podcast with some guy on Twitch and like fight everybody. And then I was like, oh, haha, okay. Anyways, I gotta go. So that was what happened. I have never felt like I needed to put my guard up for a girl, ever. I mean, to be fair, most people are too much of a pussy to actually ever do anything. Oh yeah, I remember when I pissed off some of the VTuber fans, they were like combing through my chat logs to see if me or John did anything illegal. And they were like trying to like report us for something. I don't even remember. They were trying to like see if they had something they could report us for. Honestly, I don't even fucking know. That is crazy. When you ask someone what is the worst thing that I have done, when you ask those people, I really want to know what the answer is. Because what have I done that warrants that kind of behavior? I really don't know. Cookie run? You call the Halo bad. Which is, you know what? That's probably the same line of thinking. Is that I never even said it was bad, but then people don't know how to read. Literacy is really bad. You're a VTuber fan, you don't claim them? Oh, I mean, that's also another thing. Is like, I don't think I need to say every sentence, not all VTuber fans. Because I'm friends with VTubers and they have like great communities. But I also remember a few years ago when they found out that I was gonna play with some of the VTubers under agencies, they're like, by the way, this person's horrible, look what she said about these fans. And then they dug out my chat logs and it was me saying, yeah, some fans are very protective of their female VTubers, that they actually are very outwardly against these female VTubers playing with their male counterparts of the same agency. Those kinds of degenerate streamers are a little, those kinds of degenerate streamer fans are a little bit controlling of it. And they're like, look what she's fucking saying about us. And I'm like, and then I saw some of the responses to it, where people going like, okay, she's obviously talking about those fans though. If she's not talking about you, why are you so worked up? She's talking about the creeps that are being demanding. I was like, my god, someone who actually knows how to read. Crazy. It doesn't apply. Why are you upset? It snowballs in their echo chamber. It does. I do find that certain communities have a much larger rate of degeneracy over nothing. Like just nothing burgers. A lot of this shit really doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, gist of it is, in my 7 years of streaming, I mean, technically my 7 years of streaming, the first like 3 years or so, I was like a very small streamer with 40, 50 viewers, and then the last 4 years is when I was being perceived. People have tried to basically cancel my career 3 or 4 times because K-pop, Seagate, VTuber. And I'm like, damn, I don't even have crime allegations. Know that we are taking this to court. This year is somewhat calm compared to everything. I mean, I'm also just older now, and I've like just chilled out. I just don't really want to bother or care about a lot of things. Just play games and just relax. Like, it's just, what's the point? Yeah, just like balding in peace. Unfortunately, the weird like Klansman adjacent people are still just like lurking in the corner, making accounts every week. Going like, I can't believe you have hurt the white community with your extreme racism. Are you going to have another racist outburst towards the white community again? Just that. Can't believe Mo 9 times would do that. But then, because people are so interesting to me, what's the end goal for it? Is it like they don't want me to be a streamer anymore? But I already made $1 million that I have invested. There's no, like, what's the end goal? Is it to stop me from making money? Is it to stop me from being a streamer? They don't think that far or that hard? I guess I do, which makes it just, it makes no sense to me. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, they're just mad and act on it with no other thoughts, which is what also surprises me. It's like,
hello.
Don't you think these kinds of people, also the same kind of people that cry about, now, hear me out, like, that the same people that cry about, like, woke, DEI, very capital G gamer stuff, they're also the ones that complain about people being emotional, but they never see that they are the emotional, sensitive ones that are prone to emotional outbursts because they don't consider anger an emotion. They think they're calm, cool, and collected when they're the ones that are easily baited into having a reactionary response to that kind of stuff, and they get farmed so easily by grifters. They are so easily manipulated. It's literally what Voss says. It's what fucking the Nazi guy, Voss, the antagonist in Indiana Jones, says. Is these kinds of insecure people are the easiest to manipulate. Very emotional, emotionally turbulent people. The choo-choo American cartoon guy? No, that guy that guy was the guy Voss was referring to. So I'm saying that I agree with the Nazi Voss? Well, I don't agree with him politically. Also, he's not a real guy. And you know, okay, someone said that gamers were mad about that line too. That he says insecure men are so easily manipulated and they don't even know that. And then there were people mad at that line, which is so ironic because you just self-reported yourself as being one of the guys that he was talking about. It baffles me that people don't see themselves like that. I think that's just part of getting older, is like when you are able to rationalize in your head why people act or lash out the way they do, and then coming to the conclusion that at the end of the day, they're just small people. You know, not literally. And then you're like, oh, that's it. It's just that. It's the same reason why the hag and all her shenanigans was so amusing to me. Instead of me being offended, I was so amused and entertained. Who's the hag? Oh my god! We're just having a lore recap. That's also kind of why I like playing these games, because then I can just do something with my hands while I yap. The hag. Oh man. The hag lore. Oh yeah, I was supposed to call her auntie because I felt kind of mean calling her the hag, but then everybody in chat started calling her the hag, and then I started calling her the hag. The hag was basically this 35-year-old who was beefing with me last year that I didn't know about. When, like, I was 25 at the time, she was 35 years old. She was 10 years older, and she was sabotaging my stream and my work and my relationship last year. Yeah, that's who the hag is. There was, yeah, and there was also the ran through Squirtergate, which again is like people making shit up because I think in a way people know that if they are being truthful, there is nothing that they can say that really sticks to what I've done. You have to be misleading if you're trying to recruit people to join your anti-39daph's club. You have to be misleading. Because if you're being truthful, it falls apart. Do these people believe their own lies? I don't know. So there was a incident with people, I don't mind just straight up talking about it, because if you look at it, it is out there. People said that I slut-shamed Extra Emily because of her sex list, when I was like, I never slut-shamed her, I never talked about her body count, I never said anything. I said her sex list was weird and that was it. And people like went through my chat logs, deliberately went out of their way to push a narrative that I was slut-shaming her when I wasn't. Because they wanted to, they basically wanted to stir the pot. And what happened was this. So I was like, yeah, that sex list was weird. Can you imagine like having a sex list and then writing down someone was 9 out of 10, ran through Squirter. And that was the time that I found out the term ran through Squirter from a tweet that I thought was so funny. It was from a guy saying, what am I gonna do when I arrive in heaven with 100 virgins waiting for me? Have you ever had sex with a virgin? That shit's annoying as fuck. Give me 48 ran through squirters and I'll really be in heaven. So, in my chat logs, it said, yeah, that sexist was weird. Can you imagine recording down you fucked a girl and she was like a 9 out of 10 ran through squirter? Now, they took that chat log, put it in, and said Daph was calling her a ran through squirter. She's saying that she's a slut and she's slut shaming her. And I was like, I never called her that. Just like how I never call anybody a snow roach. They specifically took that, put the narrative that they kept reiterating that narrative too. That I was slut shaming her, that I was talking shit about her, and I was like, no, I think the sex list is weird. No thank you. That's it. That's all I had to say about that. Yeah, so another case of just making shit up. It is just not the truth. Because the truth just wouldn't work. It got to the point where people were like leaving Twitter comments going like, yeah, I can't believe she said that shit about her, like, what a fucking like bitch, I thought they were friends, whatever, blah blah blah. And then, you know, just people just reading it and just running with it, even though it is just objectively not true, to the point that they were going out of their way to like spread that, basically because they know that it hurts my reputation. And then when I met another girl who was also a streamer, she was like, hey, you know, you're actually really chill, like, how come I always see people saying just weird shit about you? And then, you know, I had to explain to her, yeah, what's going on, and she's like, oh, that's really fucking weird. It's like, yeah, it is really fucking weird, I don't even know. For the most part, though, most of the people that I have interacted with that are streamers are chill. Like, I don't associate with people that I think are weird. I don't hang in those circles, I don't know what the fuck is going on, honestly. People like me, and I like them, and then that's it. And maybe that's what's grating at the end of the day, that people like me. So now what are you gonna do? I am liked. It's easy to be liked. And that's also why the hag, her antics fell short. It didn't work. The hag's antics did not work. Simply because I am liked. It's really that easy. I don't care if something good happened to you. It should have happened to me instead. I do think it's this like juvenile, this like very emotionally juvenile reaction to seeing content creators that you don't like. It's literally that meme. It's like that one random annoying streamer that you don't like, and then you finally get a reason to dislike them. But then the part where it goes just out of the norm for these people is, for example, I never liked Mr. Beast. I thought he was really weird and he feels like a lizard person, but I don't go out of my way to harass him, to talk about him, to tweet about him, to make videos about him, to comment and tell everybody else that. I'm just like, yeah, that guy's kind of weird. The end. And then now that he's outed for all that crypto shit, for the mistreatment of employees, I'm like, yeah, that is kind of weird. It's like, oh, you know, now there's a legitimate reason to dislike them. Where it goes into the mentally ill part is when you latch on to, for example, someone like me, and you're like, yeah, she's a fucking horrible person, like, she was racist as fuck, she encouraged someone to kill themselves, not true. She is spreading misinformation about depression and suicide, not true. She was, like, talking shit about her friends and, like slut-shaming someone, not true. And then they latch on to this thing that they made up so much because they are living and breathing that meme of when that random content creator you dislike, you now have a legitimate reason to dislike them. Because that legitimate reason, although it is somewhat of a reason, it's simply not good enough to justify this like insanely kind of hateful parasocialness to it. It's very emotionally juvenile. Because they are reacting sensitively. Yeah, and then when you understand the people's thought process like that, it's harder to take it seriously because you know that they are very small. It's just very like small thinking. They are very inconsequential. Can't people just not like something? It must be some sort of life or death. See, yeah. No, I agree. Is people see things in black and white. And that actually also, we're getting kind of like philosophical, diving into the psychology of this. But it's when people think in very black and white, it's actually showing how juvenile their thinking is. It's very surface level because things are not. Especially when you're talking about like relationships with people, how people are, the depth of people. it's not often black and white. So then when they're applying to that, in my specific case, for example, it's just kind of like, what? Like, aren't you thinking a little bit too much? Because this is not something normal people think about. It's very obsessive. Shoot the guy who? What is this guy? Wait, what is this guy talking about? Slut shaming? That's because slut shaming is not actually about protecting people from STDs. Slut shaming in its past and now has always been about putting women in their fucking place by misogynists that believe women have value in being a virgin and keeping their legs closed. And that men can fuck as many women as they want, but if a woman does it, you slut shame her because you think that she has less value. Also, I am mutuals with sex workers and porn actresses. They go through rigorous screening. And also, if you think... Okay, here's another thing, is if you think slut shaming needs to be brought back, or whatever, like, what that guy was just saying earlier, do you think that women who are sluts are like that girl who is fucking 100 guys a day? Like, do you think that is the average woman? Because your porn accent starts to slip out when you start saying things like that and not have a realistic view of whether or not, of how much sex women are actually having. Because the average woman is not being a ran-through squirter. She is not doing all that. And you can tell when someone has an unrealistic like view of women because they're thinking, yeah, women are like foids, they're opening their legs to 5 dudes a day, etc, etc. And I have a specific example for that. It was Cyan got a comment from some random fucking person saying, yeah, Pobelter dating Cyan is crazy because she actually has fucked 100 guys before. And that comment had like a dozen likes. Like there was no basis for it, no source. And then me and Cyan were laughing about it. It's like, fucking 100 guys, that is a full-time job, my girl. That is a full-time fucking job, sucking dicks left and right. Because when certain men describe women like that, they actually think that they are sucking dick, like 20 dick every week. And then you realize that they don't have an actual realistic grasp on reality or woman. They are, I think, terrified of women. So slut shaming is in a way for those people to control them, and that's how slut shaming has always been used, to shame women who are having sex. But yeah, but also, if a woman is fucking like thousands of guys in her lifetime, how are you still unable to find some pussy on God? Like, if all women are sluts, or not even all, but a lot of them are, how are you still unable to find pussy? It's because they only go after high-value men. Well, unfortunately, to burst that bubble, tons of ugly men fuck also. And broke men. Tons of broke and ugly men fuck. Yeah, bums do be fucking. Isn't the stereotype like a 10-10 supermodel woman with an average Joe? Yeah, but then they always make up some reason for it. It's like, oh, she's only with him because or like, he's rich or something like that. It's always something. When other girls perpetrate the hate, it's because they're dumb. Like, there is... That's it. It's because they're dumb. Because let me give you an example. You know, why should I like speak vaguely when I can give exact examples? When I was under shit from the K-pop fandom for just, you know, being silly, doing some trollery, whatever. These K-pop fandoms are also there's a lot of girls in it. And there were a lot of girl accounts saying things like, yeah, she's streaming, she's a pick-me-ass bitch, like, trying to cater to her incel audience, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I realized, oh my goodness, this is a child who has no developed frontal lobe. Because why would you immediately think that I'm trying to cater to a male audience just because I'm playing games? Because what you are saying, already by default, is saying that girls can't actually be into games, or be into gaming culture, or enjoy playing games, or even streaming games. And that the only reason she's doing it is because she wants that male validation. I don't even think they realize the irony of saying something like that. Of calling me a pick-me. When a pick-me is a girl who is doing something for male validation. Because to their mind, it didn't even register that a girl could just genuinely be into playing games and streaming. I was like, that's fucking backwards. Kinda say a girl is not a girl's girl, but then, like, saying that? Think she's seeking male validation? No. I don't think her reason is that she's seeking male validation is just she was stupid. It was just a simply stupid thing to say. Yeah, people don't even understand what pick me means anymore. I've been called that so much, especially when I was just like starting to blow up. Because, and it was really ass backwards to call a girl that when she hasn't gone out of her way to put down another girl for the approval of a man or of other men in general. Because I was called that on the basis of me having crude humor, swearing a lot, playing games, and streaming. Which women are allowed to do without having an agenda of trying to be more appealing to men. So it was very, like, reversed. It was just, like, ironic, I guess. Yeah, people just throw that word around without even knowing what it means anymore. Where's my burger? Yap, yap, yap. I feel like people just use that word to mean, girl I don't like. That's a pick me. What does it mean to appeal to men on Twitch? A male-dominated space? That is way too complicated of a question to answer in one sentence. Because I can tell you that, but I would have to explain a lot. Otherwise, people are not gonna like the answers. But then also, would I really trust people to understand the nuance in what I'm saying and not take it out of context? Probably not. Well, one very obvious example, I think, is you absolutely can do that. Because it's not a very black and white issue. I think you absolutely can. And I think it's actually very easy and very justifiable why people do it. It's simply because clout is everything in this kind of being popular, having viewers, having a big community, having a lot of people giving you money is important. So you hide having a boyfriend. That simple. You hide having a boyfriend and you don't talk about your politics. Even though you're in favor of abortion or something. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to appeal to capital G gamer guys. It's just, for me personally, I don't like being perceived by those eyes. I do not want to be perceived. It's also just easy because it is easy to appeal to them. You're a girl, they already think you're a unicorn. Like, you don't even have to do anything. Oh, so you're saying you're morally superior to any woman that does. You're training me to parry those responses. No, I'm just not into that, dude. I don't care if they can afford like 5 more Lamborghinis than me. Good for them. I think it's a double-edged sword just for your just for your mental. Like, I have seen the degeneracy of what happens when you have that kind of community, but everybody is different and everybody's attitude towards it is different. But I am truly disgusted by a lot of like capital G gamer types that are unironically whining about ugly female leads, about like DEI woke stuff. I am not able to suck it up and just be like, yeah, I mean, I understand, like, some people don't like it. Like, no, I can't. I have to say, you are such a fucking moron. Go fuck yourself and fuck off. I can't do that. It's too hard for me because I'm a yapper. But you know what? Some people can, and they have restraint. They're fucking skilled in that. I fucking can't. Everyone's different. There's no point arguing. No, there isn't. But if you had the choice to have a community of people that you actually want to see comments from and people that you actually think are funny in your community, why, at least in my view, like, why would you not choose that? Like, for me specifically, if I had those kind of weird anti-woke DEI people slinking in, and then when I say something, like, you know, just me joking around yapping, and then it hit a little too close to home for those people, then they start throwing a hissy fit. I don't want to deal with that. That shit's fucking annoying. Like, I don't want to deal with those kinds of people. I don't want those people here. So streamers are responsible for what every single chatter says? Bro, that's literally impossible, man. I can't control my community. But, I mean, that's also why I say that I understand other people in a similar position where they don't want to have to deal with these crowds, so they just turn a blind eye to it because it's just easier in their mind to do that. You have to do so much like fucking psychological micromanagement to train your chat and community past a certain size to not be so disgusting and degenerate. You have to know like where to pinch and where to poke, and how to like nip it in the bud and all that. For a lot of people, why even bother doing that when you're already making thousands of dollars a week? Who cares? Like, whatever, you know? Who cares? Yeah, a lot of people see it as a job, and I don't blame them for that. And you're getting stalked by your chat boyfriend you didn't even know about. But that will happen regardless. But, I mean, obviously, I won't know this other than my own anecdotes. But I do think that I have way less harassment and stalking issues compared to a lot of other female streamers because I am so just abrasive. And they know that they can't get the reaction that they want out of me the same way that they can get a reaction out of like sending something disgusting to, like, let's say, I don't know, Tina Kitten or something. And that is by design. Is there like another you know, another thread that's being made about me or something? I haven't even done anything. It happens every now and then, and it's always the same thing. I don't want to see it though. I don't need to see it either. But sometimes it's good to know if there is something brewing. The 39daph's hater meetup. All that, I don't even know. Like, I also don't really think I'm that interesting. Am I really that interesting? I'm not that interesting. Maybe that's what pisses them off. Maybe. Oh, I mean, like, I'm not interesting enough for people to have that kind of, like, the level of degeneracy that I've seen. I don't know if it's being interesting. Yeah, I guess I also wouldn't know how bad other people have it, so I don't really have a frame of reference. I think the most telling is when we go through a lore recap every few weeks or so, and then there's always a few dudes in chat who are like month-long subs who are like, what the fuck? I don't know about any of this. And I'm like, good. You have to be so terminally online to know. Because you're not reading the fucking weird parts of the internet. Good, it's good. I like people like you. You shouldn't know. It's fucking weird. Have I recapped the Silver Steven lore yet? No, I haven't. Oh my god, I did notice someone, like, every time I see someone like that in other streamer chats, I'm always like, oh my god. My trigger finger is itching. Basically, the Silver Steven, there was like this guy who would donate a lot of subs, gift a lot of subs and stuff, and then he started to get like progressively more annoying and kind of, what's the word? Like, possessive. Yes, possessive. And then he would also specifically go out of his way to gift one sub at a time. And there was one time I was like doing a fucking interview with someone on stream, and he purposely strategized to gift one sub at a time. So I would constantly have to stop and say his name. That was just fucking gross to me. So that was one of the weird things. I was like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, and then he really wanted to contribute to the birthday game that was done a few years ago. So he went and paid the daphSit guy to get a little cameo video, and then said he didn't pay him. And then he was like trying to take credit for a big portion of that project too. It was so weird. It was just possessiveness. And then when I joined Sentinels, they were also upset about that. It was just weird. Like, they obviously want something in return, whether it's just attention. Yeah, I wonder what kind of schizos other streamers get. I got the, like, what faction? Is it like parasocial relationship? Is it like people that are disapproving of their relationship? Like, the faction that I pissed off was Klansmen and K-pop and like certain VTuber factions. What's other people's factions? Like, what ops do they have? What was the solution to the guy giving one sub at a time? Oh, he got fucking banned. Remember how K-pop fans got mad at me for something? Yeah, it was for playing Cookie Run at a BTS concert, and then the other one was me saying I didn't really like Blackpink's music. It was twice. In two years? No, not twice. No, not twice. I meant like it happened 2 times in 2 years. They did start some tribalism because they dug up some tweet about me like saying that I really like Twice's song, and then they were like, oh, she's a Twice fan, she's trying to bring down whatever, and I was like, damn, I didn't even know this was going on, what the fuck? They call me a slur and they found out I like Red Velvet? I don't remember, but I do remember them saying that I was old and like ugly, and that I liked Red Velvet, and they were calling Red Velvet old and ugly and stuff. And then I was like, you know, I'm like the same age as the Blackpink members, right? Yeah, they were trying to they were doing like the K-pop tribalism thing, where it's like, oh, she likes this person, we're gonna attack what she likes, because that's what they do K-pop. But I was like, I'm not even in this. I don't know the culture of these K-pop fandom warring. I don't know. Like, what? I don't know why. I don't know why you guys are insulting Irene and Joy, but okay. Damn. I don't know what they did. They started to drag Nayeon because apparently they knew my bias is Nayeon. It's not. My favorite are Momo and San. Mass posting a bigot stands them. Stop standing! Hamburger, please. And Diet Coca-Cola.